Well, good evening. I just arrived just south of Wausau, Wisconsin, and it's a beautiful evening. It's about 5 p.m. and I am walking into the campsite, and we'll see. Looks like I'm the only one here for this evening, but it'll be nice to hang, get myself a couple of nice trees, and wait for everybody to show up sometime tomorrow. So we'll report back later as the evening progresses. So thanks. Okay, I got my rig all set up. Maybe I'll explain it a little bit. So, got my Wilderness Logic Snipe hammock, and then I have the Hammock Gear 20-degree underquilt, 3/4 length. And inside I have the Hammock Gear 0-degree burrow. So I should be nice and toasty tonight. Got my water filter. Excellent Ridgeline organizer made by Frankie. Thank you. And then above I have my Hammock Gear Cuban fiber tarp that I'm probably not going to deploy tonight, because it's absolutely beautiful out. So I'm going to see if I can see as many stars as possible and hang without the tarp. But it's there in case I need it for the weekend. I got my pack hung up. One of the things that I wanted to mention was I have this great mesh pocket on the back that was done by Katerina at Mountain Goat. And I thank her for that. She did it specifically for the Go Light Jam. So if anybody needs the Go Light Jam back pocket, which is I think one thing that the pack lacks, is the mesh pocket, you can call her up, and for a very, very inexpensive price, get one now. And she was fantastic to work with. Really, really helped me out. And that was really a nice purchase. I think this weekend I'll try to focus a little bit more on the smaller stuff, give you an idea of how I do everything. Okay, it always comes up, how do I get my water? How do I filter my water? Well, first thing, I do filter my water. I'm probably a little more susceptible to stomach viruses than maybe most, so I definitely filter. I have trusted the Sawyer filters for years, and they never have let me down. Very lightweight. Very easy to use. This one's the squeeze version. I think it comes in right around an ounce for the filter, so no problem at all. I take a old platypus and I cut it on an angle and I make a scoop. That way I can fill it very easily with water, and then I can dump it into my larger platypus, right? And I don't have to worry about the tip getting down, getting the whole bag in the water, or getting the whole bottle in the water, because that sometimes is hard to do. So I don't have to worry about being messy. So I just basically fill this up. Makes a nice scoop. And this way I can fill up my 2-liter even when the creek is very shallow and you normally couldn't get the whole bottle underwater to inflate and fill. Yep, just takes a couple minutes and I'll have enough water for a couple of meals and a couple of days up there, and then I'll filter it into a smaller 1-liter bottle when I want to drink it. Hey everybody, it is I don't know, it's about 8:30 or 8 or 8:30 I think, and in the hammock everything is lovely, and I am going to get some sleep, and don't have the tarp up, so I'll be looking at the stars all night and we'll report back in the morning. So thanks very much. Good morning. It actually is about 8:30, 8:45. Slept in. It was, it probably got down to about 30, I don't know, 38, 37 last night. Felt a little chilly in the morning, but just laying here having a little breakfast on the hammock. Don't worry, I'm not going to try the accent. I can't possibly do it. It is an excellent morning. I think it's supposed to warm up to be in the low 60s today. Chance of rain tonight, but definitely had an excellent evening. Very warm, very comfy. So we'll see what the day has to hold. Okay, so I promised a little bit more detail on how my hammock hangs, and so I use, on my tarp, I use these line locks. That way I don't have to run any line above my ridge line or below my tarp ridge line. I can adjust everything with the line locks, and that just goes back to my days of using you know, a tarp or a tent, and the line locks come in, you know, handy. I can also center the tarp over the hammock just by loosening or tightening the line locks on each side. And then to go around the tree, I simply use a toggle that simply slips through a loop on the end of the line and just holds it in place. You know, it's very easy. Pull the toggle out, and the line comes away from the tree. And then, of course, for my hammock, I do use the Marlin spike hitch and the toggle for the whoopee slings to go around, and that keeps the tree nice and protected from the weight of the hammock. Another thing I have on my whoopee sling suspension is a little pressic knot with a little mini carabiner. I think this is a 0, and this is what I use to hold my bug net in place when it's bug season. So the Wilderness Logic bug net, which I have, which fits over the snipe, has a little loop on the end, and I just grab hold of it with the tiny carabiner, and I can hold that in place even though it's got a Velcro closing. This is very lightweight, and just make sure that the bug net doesn't slip down over one end of the tarp. But it's just held in place with a little cord from Z-Packs. They're a little stretchy cord line. Okay, so here is some details of my cook kit. Very, very simple. Very, very lightweight. I have a 850 milliliter pot from Mountain Laurel Design. This thing weighs about 1.8 ounces. Extremely lightweight titanium. I've been using it's a copy of the Mini Bull Design Elite stove. I got it on the Pay It Forward Hammock Forum site, so that works extremely well. This weighs about half an ounce. And then I also use, in the wintertime when I want something warm, or in the shoulder seasons, I use the Mountain Laurel Designs 450 milliliter cup. It doesn't have a handle, so I put a little O-ring on the top of it so I can grab it when it's warm, and then I slip it into the cozy to keep my beverage hot. And the same lid that fits on the questionable mental health pot from Tinny also fits on the Mountain Laurel 450 milliliter cup. So that keeps everything nice and warm. And then honestly, everything goes back together very easily. The cup with the cozy fits inside the pot. I have a little baggie that I keep the stove in, and that gets wrapped up, so no alcohol fumes or anything goes inside there. I have the GSI foldable spoon, very nice spork, but folds up very small, goes in there. And then also in a little baggie I keep a quarter of a bandana that I use as a pot holder. also used to scrub out the pot if there's anything left over, and I keep that in a baggie so there's no smell or no moisture or anything gets in the cup that I'm going to drink out of. Then I keep a little piece of tin foil that I put the stove on because I want to make sure that those alcohol stoves don't leave a ring or any kind of damage to anything that I would place the stove on. I hate to go into campsites and see all those rings around the picnic tables. Oh, and actually I made this little windscreen as well. It fits around the stove like so, and normally I just fold it up, and it is the first thing that goes inside the pot before I put the cup in. So there's room for that around the outside. I just didn't do that this time. Everything fits together. Fits into its little mesh bag. Everything's very nice, fits into the cozy, and then I have a top for the main pot, and it all gets put together, and that's my entire cook kit, and that weighs about 6 ounces, 6.5 ounces for the whole thing. So very easy, very nice, and away you go. Looks a little threatening, like rain tonight. It's calling for a little rain tonight and a lot on Saturday. But I have deployed the Cuban tarp, and again, just a little idea how I do my tarp. I have the line locks on here that I can adjust, so I don't need a over or an under. And I go right to the tree, and then in this particular case I am in porch mode, so I have them tied off to my trekking poles, but again I have the line locks that allow me just to tension it right from the end of the tarp. Making a little dinner tonight, and right now it's hot chocolate in the cup, and then I believe it's almost time for beef stroganoff. So we'll try some of that here in just a few minutes as well. Lovely view. More people are showing up, and hopefully we'll get a fire going. But we'll report back later around, at least around the campfire, whether or not there's one in it or not.
All the stuffing, huh? That's a good idea.
Fire. Okay, we thought we were coming out here to only slightly rough it, to find that it is kebab and vegetables, and what's underneath?
Potatoes and onions with bacon.
Oh man! Here. and that's right, and an MGD. There we go. Now Hammock Forum people know how to eat. 9 o'clock, I guess, but it's just a nice slow rain. It's supposed to not get bad until Saturday night, but we'll see how it goes. It was a nice time around the fire. Everybody introducing themselves. Not as many people showed up as maybe we thought, but a great bunch of guys, and we'll see how the night goes.
Hey, good morning.
I'm at one over 100.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I guess that's representative of the population at large.
He was weird.
Lone tracker.
He was harmless but weird.
Lorax.
Yeah, well, that's good.
What are you making?
I am making sausage biscuits and gravy. I'm going to bake my bannock right now. I made it. I dehydrated cubed ham to substitute for the sausage. I did not have time to dehydrate at home. So I'll finish this off. Bake this up.
So a la Dutch oven.
Dutch oven cooking. Backpacker style.
Wait, Dutch would have made a titanium Dutch one by now.
This is the Weight Watcher style.
That would be hilarious.
Dutch, make a Dutch oven.
Yeah.
Okay, Dutch, if you're listening, make a Dutch oven.
I
Another
mean,
5
they
minutes
run forever.
should be good.
They run. I would.
Cars, through the 70s.
Very nice.
Was planned.
But this is real gourmet stuff. Okay, we're going to do a little hiking. Just left the guys around the campfire that are going to hang around. What a breakfast Lorax made with biscuits and gravy, and Fat Daddy and his son made scrambled eggs and bacon, and I had a glass of cider and a English muffin. But we're going to do a little hiking today. I'm going to try to do this loop around this wilderness area. I think it's only 3 or 4 miles total. A little bit of maybe some off-trail stuff to make a complete loop, but we'll see how it goes. And we'll check back in later when I get back to camp.